Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family, and today, as promised, I'll be diving deep into Harry's connection with Africa and also talking a bit about his grandfather Philip with his bizarre connections there. So I'll be talking about his passion for its people, his rumoured dalliances, his broken promises, and a dream of ruling that ties into his grandfather Prince Philip's bizarre deity status in Vanuatu. We've got Meghan's Commonwealth Queen vibes, her fantasy of being Queen of the world, a heartbreaking betrayal of a young girl with AIDS, and the rest of it is quite beyond belief, such as Harry allegedly cosplaying a medieval king or craving worship like Philip had. So this is a deep dive with facts and rumours, so grab a drink and let's go. Prince Harry's Africa story starts with a young prince enchanted by a continent, its children, its beauty, its potential. In 2004, he lands in Lesotho, starts off Sentebale, a charity he co-founded with Prince Sizo, and it's all heart until it becomes a little bit darker. He vows to support a baby girl with AIDS for life, then pulls away, leaving her to call him out in the papers. By 2025, he's ditched Sentebale entirely. Add to this rumours of African romances and talk of mistreatment and a Commonwealth power trip with Meghan involving flowers in her veil, king and queen fantasies, and it's a total mess. And then there's Prince Philip, worshipped as a god in Vanuatu, fueling theories that Harry wanted that too. So I'm going to look into all of this. Here we go. Harry's Africa obsession kicks off in 2004. He's 19 and on a gap year, lands in Lesotho, which is a tiny kingdom in South Africa's embrace. He's not there to chill. He's working at an orphanage, meeting children hit hard by HIV/AIDS. The documentary, The Forgotten Kingdom, captures it all. He's laughing, bonding, and genuinely moved. And he later says, and I quote, "It struck me, their resilience, their spirit," end quote. So I believe this isn't PR, it's real. Harry's being real here. That trip births Sentebale in 2006. Although some say that the palace started Sentebale, Harry started it, initiated it, the palace totally supported it. Harry actually co-founded it with Prince Sizo of Lesotho. His idea, his heart, though the palace gives him the boost with staff and funds and a polo match to kick it off. It was named Forget-Me-Not for Diana, his mother, and Sizo's mum. It's about supporting children in Lesotho and Botswana, and Harry is all in with visits and speeches, calling Botswana his second home. Africa is obviously his escape, his purpose in life. But there is a shadow in all of this. Among those children is a baby girl with AIDS. Harry holds her and promises her mother that he'll support her for life. This was a personal vow, not a photo op. It is his peak sincerity, I believe. For a while, he delivers and Sentebale thrives. But that promise, it was the crack that split the whole story wide open. So hold that thought and I'll move on. Harry's African love isn't just charitable, it's romantic. So we have Chelsea Davy, Zimbabwean born, and his on-off girlfriend from 2004 to 2011. They meet around his Lesotho trip, and it's absolute fireworks with wild nights in Botswana and dodging the paparazzi. Chelsea's African roots vibe with Harry's totally escape fantasy. He's smitten with her freedom, her edgy style, and although they fizzle out, she is the poster girl for his type of woman. So there were rumours and whispers of other women, unnamed African women from his travels. So was it their beauty, their striking features, their strength, or was it the culture, the rawness? There is no real hard proof of Harry's other relationships with women in Africa, just gossip and rumours from his party prince days. And then there's the latest rumour, which has been going around for some time, but which has resurfaced. And this rumour is allegedly Harry cosplaying a medieval king while wooing them, these women. Velvet robes, the crown, the works. So there are no photos to prove this, and there are no first-hand accounts as yet. So it's pure fiction at the moment, but it does fit his style, doesn't it? Nazi costume, you know, and also his princely vibe. We know he likes dressing up for fancy dress, so I could see that happening. And let's face it, if any of us had royalty grandparents and great-grandparents that were so well known worldwide and throughout history, wouldn't we play on that a little bit or have a bit of fun with it? So the darker whispers are his treatment of women. And I have done videos of this in the past. In his 20s, there was all the booze and the clubs and the chaos and alleged drug use. Some say that he charmed the women and then ghosted them, using his title as if it were a toy, using it for leverage. I know of people who have come across Harry, mothers of girls, while they were of age, if you like. Harry didn't treat them very well. He was drunk and throwing up and thought he was entitled to basically do as he wanted. Many called him disrespectful, a user, especially with African flings. No names actually stick, but the pattern is there. He was a prince who didn't always play fair. I think it was a bit more than your usual wayward youth. I think Harry was allowed to get away with a bit more because it's already been shown that his security people let him get away with a lot. And a lot of them felt sorry for him because of losing his mother at such a young age. So he took full advantage of all of that. And I think we haven't heard the last of it. I think there's a lot there that is being suppressed. So next we're talking about Prince Philip's African legacy and the deity rumour. So before Harry's betrayal, let's look at his grandfather, Prince Philip. Philip's African connection was very strong. 1950s tours with the Queen, Kenya in 52 when she ascends to the throne, Ghana in 61, smoothing tensions. He's a colonial expert, but his heart is in conservation. The WWF president, 81 to 96, saving elephants and rhinos. The BBC's 2021 obit praises his pioneer status, though he hunted earlier, which is a bit of a whoops. His Duke of Edinburgh Award still lifts African children in 2025, according to the BBC. Now, the absolutely weird bit. Vanuatu. It's not exactly Africa, but Pacific. On Tanna Island, I don't know how to pronounce this, I'll try. Yaohanan tribe worship Philip as a god. A myth says a mountain spirit son marries a big shot woman. So Philip fitted that. Post-50s colonial chatter. So by 74, he sails by on the Britannia and they're hooked. The Daily Mirror on April the 9th, 21, spills photos from Philip in huts. Chief Jack saying his spirit's in a tree. And Philip sends pictures, a pig-killing club in 2007, and plays along. The BBC in 2021 calls him a volcano god. And X in 2025 says Tanner still mourns him. On a side note here, I have an interest in quake feeds, and over the years, Vanuatu has had a lot more earthquakes than a lot of other places. They have very frequent earthquakes, and this last December the 14th, they had a particularly big one, which was 7.3. And it's interesting, isn't it, how Prince Philip is supposed to be the spirit of that volcano. Just a thought, just something that I thought I'd throw in there, because it seems that the volcano's not happy. I wonder what the actual locals are thinking as regards Prince Philip now that he's gone. So yeah, just a little bit of interest there. So Harry's love and passion for Africa combines with Meghan and her dreams in their Commonwealth phase. So in November 2017, during the BBC engagement interview, Harry is absolutely buzzing about, and I quote, all these countries, people running around full of energy, end quote. He's totally fired up for the Commonwealth. 52 nations, tons in Africa, seeing it as his turf. He's imagining it as him ruling over it. I think most of us saw that in that video. He's not just a prince. He regards himself as a king in waiting, absolutely thrilled to dive in with Meghan, who's so excited to co-lead. At that point, we know that it all changed because she got too power hungry. So in May 2018, during the wedding, Meghan's veil flaunts flowers from all 53 Commonwealth nations. Hibiscus, protea, frangipani. Vogue calls it a tribute, but it's actually a flex. She is actually stitching her reign into fabric. And it's so obvious to most of us now. And Harry is absolutely all for it. He's picturing them striding through Nigeria and Kenya like reborn royals. In a 2019 ITV Angola clip, he is swarmed by children and says, and I quote, "This is what I live for," end quote. So with Meghan by his side, they're not ambassadors in their minds, they're auditioning for thrones. And now it's so obvious what was happening back then. That interview was so bizarre, that engagement interview, but I think most of us can see what was in their minds regarding the Commonwealth. X in 2025 says they wanted Philip's Vanuatu vibe, Harry as Africa's king and Meghan his queen. But they totally misread it, because being a youth ambassador is not being a ruler. And after 2020 Brexit, they lost those roles. And The Guardian said, and I quote, "They overestimated their sway," end quote, "their king and queen dream, dust." So, now I come to the betrayal of the child with AIDS and Sentebale's fall. So back to that baby girl with AIDS. In the early 2000s, Harry is in Lesotho, holding her, vowing to her mother that he'll support her life. It's very emotional to watch the photos of him holding that child and the video. Sentebale's early years back it up. She grows up battling AIDS and totally trusting Harry. And then he sort of fades away. By her teens or 20s, she's alone and goes public in the newspapers, saying that he promised and then he left. Her name is not easy to find, but her pain is very real. Why did Harry do this? Maybe life got messy, and with the royal exit and Montecito, but it's still a promise broken, but a very important promise, considering he wanted to be very sort of hands-on and very charitable regarding Africa particularly. To do that, to let this girl down, it didn't really help his image at all, and it definitely didn't help that girl. And then in 2025, Harry quit Sentebale after a board flight with Dr. Sophie Chandorka, which were the bullying claims and the toxic brand talk per Sky News. He calls it devastating, but he's out. And X calls him a hypocrite for abandoning those children. I think it was terrible the way that Meghan treated Sophie Chandorka. It's being said now that Meghan didn't get on with her. I think there are nothing but nice things being said about Sophie Chandorka, and I don't see any people coming forward saying that she's a difficult person to get along with. But we do see many, many people saying how difficult Meghan is and always has been to get along with. The way she treated her at that polo match was absolutely disgusting. I think I did a video some time back on that. And she was freaking, Meghan was. You could almost see her heart rate go up when she realised that there was another allegedly black woman, because we know that Meghan isn't, standing in between her and Harry. And it freaked Meghan out completely. So she sort of stumbled a bit, didn't she? And hastily pointed for her to move over on the other side, which she graciously did. I bet inside she wanted to stand up to Meghan and say, no, I'm happy here, because I think Harry was more than happy to have her on the other side. But no, she had to move and get in line with Meghan. And it was disgusting, and it's there, video proof for all of us to see. So, Harry's treatment of people in Africa and his ambition, it's sort of tarnished the Africa thing, really, in people's minds. So, the rumours have hit really hard. X says that Harry's youth, with his 2005 Nazi costume, party binges, shows and proves that he mistreated women, African or not. And we have heard of women being mistreated in Afghanistan. Some that have been wanting to speak out. One woman, and there's also another woman from LA, one from London, I think several from London, and one was ready to speak out, but her carer implied that it wasn't the right time. For some reason, she couldn't speak out. And why did she have a carer? Because what was done to her was so serious. And I'm not saying any more than that, but I hope that that comes out sometime. So he charmed these women, and then charmed them and then ditched them, one post reads. And children as well. Sentebale was PR, another one claimed. And the medieval king cosplaying, a lot are saying that it's real, but many are just saying it's made up stuff. But let's wait and see. Was Africa Harry's power play? Prince Philip's legacy is still there. Vanuatu's worship versus Harry's retreat. So Philip got deified and Harry got absolutely despised. So Harry did not get the treatment that he wanted. He didn't get treated like a king, and he didn't get treated like a god. He might have had some women treat him as though he was royalty and like a king. I know that a lot of the people in Africa, a lot of people in other countries do treat and have treated the royal family with respect, even Harry. But I think Harry was disappointed that he wasn't turned into some sort of deity just like Prince Philip had. Many say that he craved African adulation, with Meghan pushing the Commonwealth crown because she really believed that they were going to rule over them. So did he want to rule, or did he want to be worshipped? And now, does Harry really want to be king? He's sixth in line, but Africa and the Commonwealth were his opportunity, more of a reality for him. Sentebale and Lesotho is where he's like a king, or he feels he is. And with Meghan, it's global, what with her veil and their youth involvement and a new empire. So it's being said that he envied Philip's godhood and he wanted his own. In Spare, he complains about being second, but he absolutely hates the cage. He wants freedom and not a crown. Or does he want a crown? I think he wants a throne. I think he wants his own throne, but not the UK's throne. Africa was his throne until he bailed out. And Philip's rather effortless deity status does overshadow Harry's very obvious and bumbling attempts at the same treatment. Harry has never had the stamina that his grandfather Prince Philip had. So there we have it. Harry's Africa connection with all the love and the betrayal and the Commonwealth fantasies, because they couldn't be dreams, they were fantasies. And Philip's godhood. Harry wanted to be a saviour, a king or something, and all he did instead was break a girl's trust, ditch Sentebale, totally misread his role, and made a right mess of it all when he had literally had the world at his feet, just as Meghan did. A lot of you know that there's a lot more to the stuff that's being brought out regarding the royals. Andrew, Epstein, the Diddy tapes, all of these things. They are very, very relevant to Harry. And also the rest of the royal family, there will be things. And I've always said it won't be long. Just be patient, because digging into these things, it's quite relevant. Harry's past and his grandfather, all these things. Some of it is a distraction, yes, but a lot of it ties in and will all make sense eventually. Hopefully not too long to wait. So, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, subscribe, ding the bell, click like if you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.